What's going on, guys? It is T90 Official, and welcome back to another Age of Empires 2 cast. This time, it is an Age of Empires 2 2v2 cast. I can't think of another way to say 2. Oh yeah, it's from the 2 Pools Tournament, which just started a few weeks ago, and will span into late August. So, I'll introduce the players, I'll talk about the teams, I'll talk about the map, and I'll talk about this awesome tournament. There's a lot to talk about in what is probably going to be quite a long video. Fire is in the green. He is playing as the Incas for his team, and he is teamed up with Goku, one of his longtime friends, and another very good player. Goku is playing as the Slavs, and the Brazilians are up against China. And in the blue, we have Mr. Yo. I would call him the best player in China. He is playing as the Saracens. And in the red, we have Tim, who's another Chinese legend, and Tim is playing as the Berbers. So right off the bat, this is exciting for me because Yo teams with Elix a lot in tournaments, and Tim would team with Fat Dragon. Tim and Yo have played together before, but they haven't played together a lot recently. So it's cool for me to see probably the two most famous Chinese players team up with each other in this tournament. Now, if you saw the civilizations, and you've been following the Age of Empires 2 scene for a little while, you're probably a bit confused, because in most tournaments, it's free pick of civilizations, and you're not going to see civilizations like Saracens, and you're not going to see civilizations like Incas matched up with Slavs. So, the cool thing about this 2 Pools event is that teams can pick one civilization for the opponent's team. So I don't want to get too far into it because it could be kind of complicated, but a simple way to say it is the reason that Yo and Tim have Saracens is because Fire and Goku picked Saracens for them to play with. So normally teams are playing with one mediocre civ that was picked for them, and then one civ that they really wanted to play with, which is why Goku has Slavs. Slavs is a ridiculous civ. And then I guess since this was actually the 5th game in a best of 5, Tim's Berbers was probably the strong choice that was remaining. Again, I don't want to overcomplicate things, but what's cool with this is that we will see civilizations used that are not often used. So possibly we'll see different strategies. And another aspect of this is that Sling is heavily nerfed, because in previous events that tried to force players' hands, tried to force players to choose civs like Saracens and Vietnamese and Portuguese, all those civs that aren't picked. Back then, what players would do is they would use the weak civs to just send resources to the strong civs, which is called a sling. And we could talk more about that a bit later, but there is a sling nerf, a very heavy sling nerf, so it's really not worth it to do it unless you're in like the Imperial Age or something. So, the map is called Gold Rush. It is a 2 Pools Gold Rush. I'm using Capture Age to cast. Also, another thing to get out of the way is that I'm using an updated version of Capture Age. So, if you look to the bottom right at the moment, you can compare the team villager counts, the team military counts. It's pretty cool. And I'll get more use out of that later. But Gold Rush, the focus is always to be on the center. And man, this looks very good with Capture Age. It looks like a balanced map generation. Sometimes with other Gold Rush maps, the center gold can be shifted towards one team or one individual. Now that's not the case here. Just a big old hill in the center with most of the gold. And then it is typical in Gold Rush for each player to have 3 tiles plus 4 tiles of gold. So it's 5,600 total gold for themselves. So normally, late Castle Age is when you really start getting desperate for the center. The Slavs and Incas is an interesting matchup. Oh, okay. Yo is over here at the moment. He sees that Goku is attempting to wall. Yo is attacking that villager. I don't think he'll kill her. This could end up being quite good for Goku, actually, because his scout has more HP now. Oh, and Yo ran into the town center fire a bit. It's not bad. I think Goku can now chase down Yo's scout. But anyways, like, Slavs and Incas is an interesting matchup. I see at the moment Fire has built a barracks for his team, so he might be thinking about making some militia, maybe militia into archers. Incas could easily go archers, and then Slavs could easily go scouts if they wanted to stick to a traditional build order of some kind. But this game is not going to be traditional all across the board. Yo for China has built a barracks, and he's making militia, and he's full walling his base, so this looks like what will probably be a Drush build for him. And I think Tim is going scouts then, so yeah, who even knows? We'll find out. Okay, Fire is actually going for the Man-at-Arms build. Sorry if this felt a little bit helter-skelter. There's just so many things I needed to say. Also, it's just story of my life. If you haven't heard already, I'm in the process of moving, so I've been... Oh, that's my phone. I've been doing a lot of things that really just not fun. Packing and loading up stuff and planning, and then there'll be a lot of driving involved. And then I've also been trying to make content for you guys. And so if you're used to watching my Twitch streams, I do miss you guys. But yeah, anyways, my life has been helter-skelter recently, so if that in any way affected the start of this cast, my apologies. So, Yo is hoping to save his scout by running towards Tim's base. Tim will save the scout. Now, there's plenty of wolves on this map. It's almost like the wolf distribution is spread more evenly, which is bad for Fire. Fire wants to come forward, actually. Now, Incas are a great man-at-arm tower civ, but Incas are a man-at-arm tower civ in 1v1s normally. That's not something you'll see a lot in team games. Now, I believe Tim did a little trick. Again, another thing I need to talk about in this awesome game. He did a little trick here, and he had a palisade placed over top of a wolf. And he'll see the wolf's not there anymore. So he might be expecting a type of a forward. That's something a lot of like classic players like Tim, who's been around a long time, would do. If they were expecting a possible forward. Meanwhile, Yo... I think Yo lost militia to the wolves, actually. Like, where did his militia go? Fire didn't get the kills. I do see wolves here, and I see this militia. Yo's Drush, I think it ran into some trouble. But where we're at in this game now is that Fire is attempting to go man-at-arms and towers. He's getting attacked by wolves again. Tim will be making scouts. And then Goku's making scouts, and Mr. Yo is just now going to reach feudal age. It looks like Drush into archers or Drush fast castle or something for him. So the first tower will go up for Fire. Fortunately, he didn't lose any villagers to that. But still, not ideal. He's lost a lot of HP, right? I think the way the wolves are set up on this map, it gives the defenders a little bit more of an edge. And Tim does have one weak scout forward, but he hasn't sent much forward. In fact, he hasn't created much at all. And while he builds this tower to defend his berries, he can't take his berries now, but it's not the end of the world, I don't think. So I want to get back to the sling thing. There's probably a more professional way to say that, but the sling talking point, okay? I don't believe... Hold on, I actually have writing here from Lidacor. He said, the only way... Well, Lidacor is the guy who organized the event. He's a great guy, also a streamer as well. He said, the only way to prevent the weaker civ from slinging, the stronger one in 99% of games, is to give a huge tax to slinging. So basically, if you send resources before the Imperial Age and the coinage research, all resources are lost. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that slinging is really not a possibility for any team right now. Sending resources to the other one wouldn't work. If Yo tried to send 300 resources over to Tim, so Tim could get the Castle Age or something, Yo would lose the resources, but because of the tax, Tim wouldn't receive any. So it was the best way, as he said, to prevent players from slinging all the time. So there will be no slinging for now. A nice little 2v1 going on here for Brazil on Tim, and Tim's just trying to stay alive at the moment because Mr. Yo's on the way to Castle Age. And Tim, I mean, he has no defense to the amount of scouts that Goku has here. And so it's a good strategy from Brazil to attack this stable. You'll notice Tim's scouts ran into Fire's base. Fire was able to defend from that. Took a few losses, but he's walled in, and I think he's feeling fine. So Tim has to somehow prepare for the incoming scouts. He knows that his ally, Mr. Yo, is in Castle Age before anyone on the other team. Yo is going into Crossbowman. It's a great move with Saracens. He used the market to get up there quickly. But it's a cool move because you can continue to use the market to mass units and balance economy. But if Goku gets 5 scouts in, there's not a lot of defense here for Tim, so Tim needs to rely on his famed walls And he's built walls behind his town center, so great job from him. Of course, the scouts and the men-at-arms, all of the units for Brazil will go into the TC fire if they try and run through here. So they're kind of stuck here now, or they have to go back. And great decision from Mr. Yo with just 3 crossbows and a spearman, or 2 spearmen, sorry, to go directly to Fire's base. And Fire and Goku have probably been communicating and saying, hey, Yo went FC or Fast Castle. He's probably going crossbows, keep an eye out. That's why Fire built this tower. And Fire hasn't reacted yet. He's down 1 villager already. And probably more. These villagers are very weak. Oh my goodness, Fire's having a rough time this game. 8 deaths already, make that 9. Can't take a stone, now can't take his wood comfortably. What a play from Mr. Yo to come over here. And what great defense from Tim, who has now house-walled this off. And sure, he's idled a lot, but he's killed a bunch of the scouts. Now this was game 5 in a best of 5. I really wish I would have casted the whole set of games, but it was 2-2 at this point. So the whole series was really close, and it's not like it was game 1 where teams would have a chance to recover. Like this was it in the group stage, but still. Tim decides to batter these towers down so he could maybe get his stone. You'll notice that Goku is in Castle Age, so he can finally help Fire with some knights. But a lot of damage has been done here. Unfortunately for Fire, he's been able to get another wood line, but it's very, very sloppy. But Slavs. Like, Slavs are an insane civilization because of their economy. Goku's going for 4 town centers. That's such a ridiculous thing to do while you're making knights. I think he only needs 2 knights to kill... Well, the spearmen are dead, right? So, if the spearmen aren't here, he just needs 1 knight to kill these crossbows. And Tim... I can't say he's comfortably killing these towers because Fire is being pretty stubborn. He's lost villagers, but he's killed the towers at least. And Fire's making feudal age eagles. I think that's almost a bit too stubborn for Tim to stick around there and fight, but he does clean up the towers. Not something that Yo could have done for him, right? So remember, the focus on Gold Rush is the center of the map. I can, with Capture Age, I can double click the gold. There's 4,200 gold left for Yo. There's 4,900 left for Goku. And I won't click everyone's, but the point is, gold is going to be used up pretty quickly now, especially when players have more villagers and will be spamming more military. Tim is weak for his team, but I think he's done what he's needed to do so far. Fire is weak for his team. He's also done a pretty solid job so far. He's had a lot of deaths, but I think he's recovered nicely. Good defensive towers. His eco's back on track. So I'm just thinking about Mr. Yo at the moment. Mr. Yo has a lot of crossbows. Only 1 TC, though. It's a fascinating strategy choice to just stay on 1 TC. So basically, what he's doing is, he's putting a lot of his wood and gold into the production of archers. And then Goku, he's putting most of his resources into the villager production. In fact, if you look to the bottom right again, you could see the eco difference and the military difference in the teams. So 99 total villagers for Brazil and 78 total villagers for the Chinese players. However, the Chinese players have way more military. Goku only has 1 knight after losing this one, so Yo could do some damage, and I think most players would be okay with having more military on a map like Gold Rush, because you can use that military to secure the center. Speaking of securing resources, the Fire is back forward. He's built another tower here, and he's still making eagles and spearmen. He's probably expecting to see knights from Tim, because Tim is Berbers, and they get very cheap knights. Tim is in Castle Age, and we'll see if he does that. He's making a stone gate, so he probably wants to delete something here in front and start sending the knights out. And Fire will probably go eagles and pikes and maybe even monks there. Mr. Yo is on the move, guys. Also, if you haven't seen it already, I don't know... It's hard for me to know my upload schedule right now, so you guys may have seen the update to Capture Age. The top left, it shows unit production. I didn't specifically mention that, but that's pretty freaking cool. That was my one complaint with the non-Hidden Cup 2 version, was that we couldn't see this because when I was clicking things and checking armies, it would block all this stuff. So I'm trying to be more mindful of that. Again, I can show you the eco difference, the upgrades that players have on the bottom right. Actually, Fire doesn't have horse color. That's rough. Lack of eco upgrades could be an issue. And Fire is going to get wrecked by the crossbows. Like, this is the risk. You might have more villagers as a team, but you could get slaughtered if you don't have military to defend. Now, Goku, he was preparing defensive mangonels. He didn't know where Yo was going to arrive. So Yo did damage there, and now Yo wants to send his crossbows here. Now, meanwhile, Goku, or not Goku, Fire is building a forward castle. And it seems to me like he's going to get the castle up. 90%, yeah, that castle's going up. So, I guess good job from Fire to get the castle up, but I don't know what the castle denies, really. I guess it blocks Tim off from the center slightly. But I would like to see that castle in the center. Not that he could have comfortably placed that there. Or I would have liked to have seen that castle here, where he was being attacked. I guess Fire is really far behind. He's at 31 villagers. And he'll lose more to these crossbows. This is the risk of overbooming. However, it's a risk-reward situation because Goku will be in the Imperial Age soon. So while his teammate is falling apart, he might be able to pressure Yo and pressure Tim with this big boom. 108 population for Goku. That's comprised of 99 villagers. It's only 61 villagers for Yo. And that is quite a few stables for Goku. So Brazil actually have the score lead at the moment. And the Mangonels and the Cavaliers are running towards the gold in the middle. So I feel bad for Fire, but he's probably saying, you know what, Goku, it's worth it. It's worth it. We need the center. I can boom back into this game. Yo is applying constant pressure at Fire's base. He's under fire. Sorry. I love the positioning of Goku as well. I like how he's on the right side. He wants to deny every little bit of gold from Yo. Eventually, if he goes to stone, he could build a castle in the center. I'd like to see it right here. There's a TC. Yeah, he's looking to take that, and oh my goodness. So he's getting Cavalier right now. And he's getting Forging. Yo sees the Mangonel, and he chooses to attack it. Great split micro from him. And now he's going for monasteries, most likely for some conversions. But I really fear for Yo. I think that Yo could be pushed by this. Well, Goku even sniped a villager from Tim. I don't know how he got through there. That will be... Oh, wow, another Vil got sniped. That's funny. And Tim needs to help. So the situation is we have one very strong player in Goku. And one very weak player in Fire. Versus two players who are, like, kind of... They're strong, but they're not insanely strong, right? So the teams are quite even because of that, and so Tim might be able to help, whereas Fire can't help Goku if he ever needs it. It's a 1v2 for Goku at the moment. So Yo gets a few conversions, Tim comes in and he snipes the siege. So that's buying Yo a little bit of time, and Yo is on the way to the Imperial Age. Also, Yo has done an excellent job. He sniped villagers here. Yo's done an excellent job keeping his crossbows alive. He ran in, he sniped units, and I believe he'll run away before the Cavalier catch him. 42 military for Yo, and if they become Arbalest, this could be tough for Goku. And now, meanwhile, Fire's still trying to build castles on the front. I'm not so sure about this, Fire. Castle's at 33%, and both of these towers are in range of his vills. If Goku... You know what? If Goku runs in, though, Goku could slaughter Tim. But at the same time as Goku sends Cavalier in towards Tim, I believe that Yo might be able to push back towards the center. And there's no castle here yet for Goku. He has the stone for it. This is a really fascinating game. I've been impressed with Mr. Yo, though. He got a bunch of conversions. And here he's getting more conversions. Here the Cavalier he converted are killing the Rams. But can Mr. Yo do something to keep Tim in the game? I guess Tim's towers are focused on the Cavalier now, so Fire will get the second castle up. And Tim, oh my goodness, he needs to get out of here. It's good he has this TC, but he needs to get out of here somehow. Or he needs a bunch of Castle Age camels. Thank goodness Berbers have cheap camels, because if these had normal cost, he wouldn't have the eco. He only has 58 villagers. Fire's going to catch up to him with villagers. But Mr. Yo might be able to get to the center as we speak. Arbalest completes. He's getting some monk upgrades to continue to go for conversions. Goku, realizing that, is placing the castle in the center on the hill. Okay, so small spoiler alert. We are going to get to the point where this starts happening, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with the new version of Capture Age. I don't know if I have any alerts for it. So what's going to happen at some point soon is Goku will start slinging fire resources. Now, because of the rules, because of the way this tournament works, as I said earlier, Goku would need to research coinage. Otherwise, when he sends resources to Fire, Fire's not going to receive many of those resources. In fact, he would receive 0 resources. So Goku would lose resources, Fire would receive nothing. It would be a complete waste. And that is something that Goku will forget about, which really hurts his team. And again, I'm not sure what alert I get when Sling happens with Capture Age, so I didn't want to miss that. I wanted to get ahead of the game and say that that's how Brazil is planning on getting Fire involved with something instead of just castles. But man, what a defense from Tim. What teamwork from Yo and Tim. Like, constantly militaries together. A castle for Yo now. They're looking to push the hill. Goku's building another castle. And Goku's prepped Halberdier for the camels, but Yo has Arbalest for that. And Goku is beginning to get a bit overwhelmed right now. Still kind of sucks for Tim because he doesn't have a lot of room to breathe here. He does have less villagers if you compare his situation to Fire, but hard to say who has the lead at the moment. I would say Brazil has the lead because they have the gold control. That's normally what happens on Gold Rush, right? And Goku is researching Onager in this siege workshop. It's at 80%. He realizes he doesn't have an answer to the combo that the Chinese players have at the moment. He's hoping that Onager shots can save him. Yo's about to surround Goku's main eco. And guys, he wants to place a castle. He has enough stone. He wants to place a castle right on Goku's face. Meanwhile, Goku is making trebuchets to attack Yo's castle. But Yo has researched chemistry a while back. He has bombard cannons, and he can snipe Goku's trebs. What a ridiculous game. Another quick conversion for Mr. Yo. So he gets the Cavalier, and 1 treb down for Goku. Goku does have 1 onager. It's about to be 2. He's probably hoping that with that he could stop the castle, but it's too late. The castle will complete. Look at the villagers that died here. That's so many dead villagers. If Fire needs to get into the game. If Fire could make eagles and halberdiers as Incas, it would be wonderful. Eagles and halberdiers would counter everything that Yo has and everything that Tim has. But since Fire received so much damage earlier, he doesn't have the economy for it. And now Fire's on the way to the Imperial Age. Great micro from Tim. Great micro from Yo in this game. Just insane economy from Goku to get to the point that he's at right now. Now, Fire's finally going to get into the game, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the guy, but he hasn't done much beyond build some castles and probably, I don't know, contribute via like moral support. I don't know. Maybe he's saying we got this an awful lot in TeamSpeak. But Goku needs help. So the excess food that Goku has is going to begin to be sent to Fire. And for a while, Fire's receiving nothing. Tim even towered and castled over here, so Fire's being pressured. He needs something soon. What a ridiculous series this was, guys. Again, this was a best of 5. and this was game 5. Who says you need the same 10 civilizations to provide good games? Fire has forward castles at Tim's base. Tim has a forward castle at Fire's base. Yo is still trying to get up this hill. He's having a rough time. I think it was inevitable that he was going to lose that castle, but he's building one further back now. Yeah, the placement of this castle was suspect, because Goku's always going to have the hill. So Fire is making eagles. He has 82 villagers and access to gold. They are not elite eagles yet. He needs elite eagles, and I think the Couriers upgrade is going to be a big one. Couriers is the unique technology for Incas. It gives their infantry extra... It gives their... Sorry, their Kameyuks and their... I know it's Kameyuks and Eagles. I think it also affects Slingers. Anyways, it gives them extra armor. So it's a fantastic upgrade. But specifically for the Eagles in this case, it gives them insane Pierce armor, which would help against Arbalest. And they're already very good against Arbalest. Now, Saracens... for a civilization that is one of the weaker civs in the meta... has a lot of options. So what Yo could do, since he's researched chemistry, is much like he could make the bombard cannons, if he expects eagles, he can make hand cannons. He's trying to get a piece of the pie. He wants gold there, guys. He doesn't have any gold left in his base anymore. So he's making Arbalest and hand cannons because he knows that Fire will go for eagles. Meanwhile, Tim is pressuring with more towers, rams. Tim is out of gold. Okay, there we go. There's the sling. Sorry. It says Goku paid 0 food in tribute to you. I mean, the players should have known. It's just such a ridiculous thing. Goku just sent a lot of food, I assume. Let's just say it was 1,000 food over to Fire so he could get his upgrades. But he didn't research coinage. And the way this is set up is... you need to research coinage if you want your ally to receive any resources. Again, to prevent slinging all the time with certain civs. And so Fire's probably like, okay, he said he was going to send resources. He must not have got around to it yet. What's going on here? He does have Elite Eagle Warrior, but he's a bit light on the food. 120 population for Fire. It's 160 for Goku. It is 150 for Tim, and it is 160 for Yo. Remember, Tim is just in Castle Age. He's not in the Imperial Age. He's expanded his eco all the way out here after the forward castles from Fire went up. And he's even pressuring Goku a little bit, but that should be short-lived. Look at this! No, Tim isn't just pressuring there. He's continuing with the tower train. He wants some of this gold. There's 700 gold. Like, Fire's so focused on the center, but he needs to protect his own economy. So Fire's choosing to fight this, and I'm not so sure that he can fight this right now. I don't think he has enough upgrades. He has 3 melee armor, and he has 8 pierce armor, so normal eagle armor right now. Fire has the forward castles. He needs one of those castles to research couriers. Look at Tim. This is so typical of Tim. Tim is such a beast. I know if I was casting this live with Dave, Dave would be freaking out. How many other players can expand their economy like this with like 8 TCs and then win a light cav tower push against a guy who can make eagles? This is incredible. He's really pressuring Fire. He would do a lot more damage if Fire's villagers didn't benefit from blacksmith upgrades. And so Goku's castle needs to be repaired. And Goku runs out of stone. So he no longer has stone to repair that castle. He sends his trebuchets forward, but Yo has a siege ram there. And I'm not sure these trebuchets are going to stay up to finish off Yo's castle. The trebuchets will not stay up. So Goku just bought more stone with the gold that he has, hoping to repair. And Tim, he lost a lot of HP and a lot of knights and a lot of camels. But what he is doing is he's providing a meat shield for Yo. I'm not sure if Yo has enough meat here, though. It's so close! Mr. Yo holds on! The hand cannon addition was brilliant from Yo. And suddenly it's looking very bad for Brazil. The spam from Tim is going all throughout Fire's base. But Fire will have to come back here, and Fire is needed more so on the front now than ever. Still no unique tech. They have all this gold. Brazil has all the gold. But the composition and the teamwork is there for China. It's brilliant. Don't forget that Goku is still getting pressured here a little bit, but Goku is going to ram this castle down. Again, Goku sent 0 food to Fire. That mistake has happened a bunch of times over the last few minutes. It's a sign that they're desperate when they're trying to sling. It's only Fire in the center. Fire, and then Goku has like a few rams every now and then, a few trebs every now and then. What a beastly performance from Mr. Yo, guys. He's gonna kill this castle too, isn't he? Okay, so Tim is kind of stalled out here. But look at that, he's even attacking castles with light cav. But I think the goal, I think the point for Tim was to distract Fire enough so he and Yo could push up to the center. Now, Yo has sent villagers in. He's collecting gold now already, so I like to see the same from Tim. Yeah, Tim's building a castle here. And, okay, now the courier's upgrade is coming in. But this is just as Goku has lost both of his castles on the hill. It is 150 population for Fire. He has 50 military. Goku is 20 military. It's just a few onagers, halberdiers, and rams. Yo has 160 pop, 60 military, and he's just run up the hill. He has no meat shield. This would be the time. This would be the time for Brazil. Look to the bottom right. You can see the total number of units. You can see the amount of HP. Such an insane battle. The worry here is that the Eagles have the hill bonus. They have the armor now. And as long as Fire has the gold, which he still does, he can spam them a lot faster than Yo can reinforce with hand cannons. Hand cannons take a long time to create. They're very slow. If Fire has a new batch of Eagles, he just needs to patrol them in, and Brazil can hold the center and maybe win this game. And this is as Tim continues to push in Fire's base, taking Fire down the 95 population. This is such an insane match. Goku paid 0 food in tribute to Fire yet again, as Fire is losing his villagers. But I think it's the military count that really matters now. It is Brazil that has the military lead. Yo lost 40 military units. And Tim's still in Castle Age making light cav, so even Goku's light cav is going to be stronger. And Fire will build another castle for his team on the hill. It is ridiculous that Goku continues to send 0 food. The fact that they haven't realized that yet is just, it's unreal, but they've held on still in the center. Fire's main food eco is really struggling, though. Great performance. Whatever happens here, great performance from every single player. We can laugh at this slinging situation, but my goodness. The performance from Yo and from Tim to try and get to the center has been great. Look at this micro from Yo. Solid micro. Oh, hold on. Okay, I didn't jinx him too much. Yeah, it's alright. I kind of felt like that was the moment where they needed to get to the center, though, you know? It should be so much easier for Fire now to stabilize at his own eco, which he's doing. In fact, he'll probably clean up all the towers and buildings. It should be so much easier for Fire to spam these Eagles and win the fights that he has those upgrades. The question now is, where does China go from here? Relying on trade would take a long time. They don't really have the gold to make trade, because trade cards do cost a bit of gold. Goku and Fire are banking up endless resources. I guess it's nice that Yo is Saracen, so he could sell a little bit to get some gold, but you see, even he's teching into light cap, so he's teching into non-gold options. Now, Berbers and Saracens struggle against Inca Eagles. Well, Castle Age Berbers especially. If the Berber player's an imp and he's making the cheap cavalier, then it's a different story, but isn't it ridiculous, though? Isn't it ridiculous that Goku didn't realize that he wasn't sending resources to Fire? Look, he's still doing it! I don't know if they didn't read the rules. I don't know if they didn't figure this out till later. I don't know if they forgot. I mean, I know that they're aware of this because I saw Fire talking about it. He's like, yeah, Goku was sending me 0 resources the whole time. And China calls the GG. They tap out. Fire has 83 Eagle Warriors. And Goku has the gold to make the Cavalier. And the game ends there. I'm curious to see what the achievements show. But what a game and what a performance from both teams. Now, I haven't seen games 1 through 4. I know that the series was close and that it was 2-2. As I said, if I had the time and if I would be around to stream, I probably would have streamed that live. But I do plan on streaming the 2 pools tournament once I return from my move, and I'll put it all on YouTube and Twitch, of course. But just such an awesome game for so many different reasons. The unit composition we saw from Yo, the build order from Yo, that's so unorthodox. And the reason we saw a Drush Fast Castle into Arbalest, into hand cannons, into monks and those things is because 2 pools requires you to play with different civs. Now, according to Lidacor, the organizer of the tournament, he said that so far teams have been picking and banning and giving, because you have to pick civs or give civs to your opponent to use, some weird ones. So I had mentioned to Lidacor, what happened in the earlier rounds? Like, why did Brazil have Slavs and Incas when China had Berbers and Saracens? And apparently Incas was one of the civilizations that the Brazilians were given. And so now it seems silly, right? But kudos to Brazil for realizing how to use that civ and for using it for the proper map. Just zoom out on this. It's amazing what Tim was able to do. I know they lost the game, but check this out. I'll zoom all the way out with Capture Age and double click the TCs. His 7 town centers. So he had to expand like this. He knew that one opportunity for him to win was to kill Fire's economy. And it was so close. It was really, really close. It's amazing. Look at the TCs. This reminds me of games back in the mid-2000s I've cast recorded games of. People expanding like this. It was old Doubt style was to build 7 or 8 TCs. Alright guys, I'm going to pull back and look at the achievements now. Again, I'm not sure what the achievements are going to show for the slung. Oh god, what did I just do? I clicked play again instead. I'm so sorry. Look what happened. Oh man, I can't even edit this out. I mean, I could, but I don't have the time, YouTube. Let me investigate one second. I don't want to cast the whole game again. And I really don't want to fast forward right now as well. My intro to my YouTube video has been ruined. I'm sorry. I wonder if it's possible for me to get the achievements for this game with some quick research. Jeez, I'm so bad. I'm sorry about that. I think, let's just pretend it was 7 to 10,000 food that was quote unquote sent, but not received. Hold on, I'll do some investigating on the player profiles. It's gotta be there. Just another crazy day in the life of T90 official. I'm a moron. If the players don't have the recorded game on their profile, there's no way I can find this though. And then we can only just guess. But I really cannot wait to cast the rest of this event. And I can explain it in more detail once I cast a whole series and not just an individual game. Yeah, it seems like Fire doesn't have the games in his profile. I just want to double check real quick. So I don't remember the exact date they played, and Fire has been playing a lot recently. So if it's here, I'd like to show you. Don't think it is. No, it is not. Okay, well, guys, my apologies for screwing up. I just misclicked. And it's a 20-year-old game, so I can't pull up the end game achievements without fast-forwarding through the whole thing. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. As I will be away from streaming, I have a lot of YouTube-only content planned. So I hope you guys are looking forward to each and every day, because I should have 1 to 2 videos a day for the next week and a half. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for the love, and don't forget to research coinage.